Chisaki, Blue Futon, not in the box, not in the theater, in the digital world, and we have Outlaw King, Chris Pine, the guy that directed Hell or High Water. Have I seen this movie? No, silly. It just came out, so let me go watch it in the digital world, and I'll let you know what I think of it. Hello, back in the digital world, and I just got done watching Outlaw King on Netflix. Tough journey. Take a little breath. Alright, so what's it about? Well, it's basically a sequel to Braveheart, where this one basically starts with William Wallace is in the woods, don't know where he's at. And of course, England and Scotland. And England and Scotland are kind of joining forces saying, Scotland, come with us. You'll still have some power, but you still will obey us and follow us, pay us taxes and everything else. But then they capture William Wallace, dismember him everywhere, and then riots in the street, and they're like, we can't have this, Scotland. We need, Scotland as a country, beat England as a whole. And then you have Douglas family, you have this family, you have other families combining to say, you know what, England, we have enough, and we want our land back. You don't know the land like we know our land, and you can't stop us. But there's a lot of battles in between, story, everything else, daughters, wives, queens, kings, who's in it. Let's get started. So what I like about this movie, it is a very good looking movie. I say that a lot now, but this has a very grand scope. And the problem with this, like HBO shows, I don't know how the scope looks fantastic. I don't know what's real and what's fake with movies nowadays. So I'm like, oh, that looks really good. But for all I know, that's a CGI computer completely messing with you. But I think a lot of the outdoor river scenes and battle scenes are actually in the trenches and in the real countryside of wherever they started filming this movie. Well, with acting, thumbs up as well. Like I said, this is technically great looking movie as well. With that, with technicality, there's some fault to it as well as the battles. While there is a couple battles, most of the battles except the last battle is at night. So with these night battles, you kind of had a hard time of telling who's on what side. And even with the battle at the very end where it's somewhat in the daylight and you kind of see people battling, the only person I recognized was either Chris Pine or Aaron Taylor Johnson, because he actually had like this blue with stars, so that's him. And Chris Pine, you know him by what he looks like and what he's wearing. But everyone else, you just see stuff going through people's faces, through people's bodies, and you're like, ooh, is that a good guy? Is that the English? Is that the Scots? I don't know what they are because it's kind of hard to tell who they are. But the flash battle with the horses getting killed and all the other things, that's very gruesome and actually well shot scene as a whole. This is more of a family drama, in my opinion, of what goes on behind the scenes than actual the battles. There's, to me, really 2 or 3 main battles. Other than that, it was mostly character development, character dialogue, and what they're going to do in these different situations. Is that a bad thing? Not at all, especially with a movie like this. Does it have to be full-fledged battles? No, because you kind of want to know the history. And with this, it felt like it kept true to the history. And I got to give props to that because this is a movie about history and you want to know what's going on in the background, not just the forefront of the battles. That's really the only negative I can say about the movie, even though it's technically great. They do this at night. I feel like sometimes like the night battle or the surprise battle, it's hard to see what's going on. It could just be my TV, but I was like, I don't know what's going on. I see some swords going through people, but other than that, I mean, it feels like it's almost a cheapskate to say, oh, we don't have to really show a lot because it's at night. Even though it was a night battle, I feel like the lighting was really off, and it feels like they do that more and more in movies coming out of just the lighting at night just doesn't feel right. But overall, it's a great looking movie, great acting, great landscape, great story. I kind of like how it's basically a Braveheart sequel, and the battle scene at the very end is very strong, but of course it's kind of quick. But like I said, you don't need that for a movie like this because it's more of a storytelling perspective. I don't know if people are expecting more battle. There are some battles, but this is more, let's tell the history of what happens next. So, Outlaw King will receive a 3.5 out of 5 blue futons, which equals to 70%. So let's see what the critics and user scores gave this movie on Rotten Tomato. Alright, critics at 57%. User scores 74%. Here's the critic consensus. Muddy and bloody to a fault. Outlaw King doesn't skimp on the medieval battle scenes, but tends to lose track of the fact-based legend at the heart of its story. Positive and negative to that critic consensus, in my opinion. Was it muddy and bloody? Yes, I thought it was more muddy than bloody because this is more of a story-driven. And that's why I think I like this movie a little bit more because it was more story-driven of what happens in the background, what actually happened to these different families like Douglas, Bruce, and all the other families. I don't remember. One got land of the Scotland Islands. I'm probably saying that wrong. The Scotland of Isles. The Isles of Scotland, like they own that land. Just basically them wanting to get their land back from England and wanting to know. I wanted to know that background. This movie kind of showed it. Could have been a little longer. Yes, it was only a 2-hour movie. Like First Man was even longer, and Sabotage, I just reviewed, is almost the same length. Could have been a little bit longer to flesh out. I don't know. Maybe more of the background of the English and King Bruce, the Queen, which basically she switched sides. More backstory on that because I feel like that could be more fleshed out. But other than that, I like this movie as a whole. Do you agree with my 70%? The audience score 74 or the critics 57? Chase out the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. It's Blue Futon Utopia. You Blue Futonians, thank you for watching and have a great day. But yeah, I'll say this again. Really muddy time in that age. It's like, oh my god, medieval times. It looks cool, but living there, ooh, it'd be rough. But can I do it? Yeah. Oh, and of course the rumor of Chris Pine's penis in this movie. I don't know if he was in a hot spring, but it was really far away, so it's basically almost a silhouette. So I'm sorry, girls, if you want to see Chris Pine's penis, it was kind of far away. It was more far away, so it wasn't a close-up, kind of like Michael Fassbender in that one NC-17 movie, or Jason Segel in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. But yeah, nudity alert.